Guys, welcome to my haul video for December/November 2012. These are fragrances that I've acquired in the past few months. When I was overseas, I might have purchased them online, duty-free, here and there, you know, asking friends to go get a fragrance for me if I'm not able to get them. So there's different ways for me to get them, but this is my haul video, letting you guys know I have 30 bottles to sniff in front of you today, give you my first impression on these. Some of them you've heard of before on YouTube, some are actually exclusive, and that's what I like about these haul videos. I remember way back when I first started in 2009, I was the first one to do an unboxing slash first impressions video on YouTube. The reason I felt like they were integral to my channel, I felt like this is a good way to discover fragrances. I remember when I first started, I used to go online with blogs and Base Notes and Fragrantica, and I really like these threads that, you know, what I purchased recently, and people would just give like their 2 cents on a fragrance if they were excited about it, you know, if there's a new release, and they give you like a small description of it. And I really think this is a great learning tool to know about new fragrances or fragrances that you've heard about and you want to hear a little bit more about it. I really like these haul videos, so I'm going to keep doing them. Hopefully it's great information for you. You know, I'm going through 30 bottles. Quick little first impressions. Again, these are first impressions. I'm not going to talk about longevity, projection. I'm not going to talk about the balance of the fragrance. I'm not going to say, you know, how it goes on my skin. And I love going back to these videos when I start reviewing these, you know, a year or two later, and look at my first impression, see how wrong I was, or how right on the bat that I was with some fragrances. It's really entertaining for me. So hopefully it's a great tool for you guys. I just want to wish everybody happy holidays in the fragrance community. You know, as always, let's do this haul video, and I'm gonna let you guys know, you know, about the fragrance a little bit. I'm gonna do a first impression. I'll let you guys know where I got it, why I got it, things like that. So let's get to it. The first bottle is a fragrance that I actually got overseas, which is actually a fragrance that I really didn't mean to get, to be honest with you guys. This is from Christian Dior. This is Eau Sauvage Extrême, or Extreme, and I wanted the perfume version of Eau Sauvage. My own fault. When I went overseas at duty free, I was sniffing out the new designer fragrances like I usually do, and I knew they had a perfume version of Eau Sauvage that was newly released. I smelt it, I was impressed, but of course that duty free was in Munich on my way to my destination, and in Munich they have an Hermes boutique, and you know, I'm collecting as many Hermes fragrances that I can, because there's not really an Hermes boutique where I live, so I'm trying to take advantage and get all my Hermes Essence fragrances, and hard to find Hermes fragrances before, you know, instead of getting a designer fragrance that I can get anywhere. Anyway, I wanted the perfume version. I smelt it, I was like, yes, I'm gonna get it. And then overseas, I got this, thinking that it was a perfume version. When I unboxed it, I was like, ah, I made a mistake. I got the extreme version. As a collector, I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep it. You know, really, I knew that there was an extreme version. I only have the original Eau Sauvage. I did a review about it. I knew about the extreme, but I never really, it wasn't really on my radar. I wasn't really excited about it. I didn't really want to get this. I really want to get the perfume version first, and then I wanted to get the leather one, the cuir one that they released. That one seems interesting to me, and this one was kind of in the back burner. But either way, as a collector, I was like, I'll get it. Anyway. Long story short, I got Eau Sauvage Extreme. I'm going to let you guys know my first impression. Again, I had this overseas for the about 2 months, so I wore it a little bit. To be honest, this is not my favorite fragrance. I was trying to avoid it, to be honest, wearing it. It really wasn't my taste. So let's sniff it out. And yeah. Right off the bat, this fragrance, when you first smell it, it's kind of offsetting, to be honest with you. The mesh of notes, when I first sniffed this, I'm not going to say it's pretty bad, but it's not up my league. I really don't like this mesh of notes in the introduction. I really didn't like it. I was like, is this trying to be fresh? Is it trying to be dark? Is there pepper in here? What's going on? And I really didn't like the mesh. You get some lemon in the start of this fragrance, and that's from the original Eau Sauvage. That is a very bright fragrance, the original Eau Sauvage, one of the classics in the game. It has that lemon, it's got some spice. I really felt the spice was really peppery, and there's patch in here, there's patchouli in here that kind of backgrounds the whole fragrance. On second sniff, This tones down to a lemon. There's lavender in here, there's a floral, and there's some greenness in here with the pepper. Almost replicating the original, but less bright. I really felt like this one was a darker version of the original. They tried to man it up a little bit more. When wearing this overseas, I had no taste for it. And to be honest with you guys, I really didn't. The sharp opening always got to me, and I really didn't like the off-putting introduction to this fragrance. The dry down, honestly, when I was wearing this overseas, was actually a lot more pleasant, of course, than the introduction, so you have to be patient with this one. Not something I would jump on, to be honest with you guys. Being a collector, yeah, I'll add it to my collection. But wearing this fragrance is going to be, you know, long between wearings, very long between wearings. It's not going to be in the rotation. I wasn't really that impressed with Eau Sauvage Extreme. Perfume version is definitely another story. I don't have it yet, but I will be getting it. But either way, wasn't really overly impressed with Eau Sauvage Extreme, unfortunately, from Christian Dior. Next is from the House of Le Labo. Now, you guys, if you follow me, I'm going to get a coffee here. If you follow my channel, you know that last spring, this past spring that just came up, I purchased Bergamot 22, and I said that I was testing out the Le Labo line again, giving them like a second or third chance after I reviewed Rose 31. And I came out with a lot of fragrances that I really wanted from them. The Oud 27, I believe is called, Patchouli 24, I might be wrong with those. The Oud, the Patchouli I really liked. Poivre 23 is always on my list. Bay Rose is always on my list. I really like the Gaillac from them. Those are city exclusive, so I gotta wait for those guys. And I was on this Le Labo kick that I was gonna get a few of them this haul. Patchouli and Oud mainly. I tried to get Poivre. Either way, on eBay there was this guy on eBay that was actually an estate sale. Was at an estate sale, and this guy had all the labels, like a bunch of them, the city exclusive. It had Poivre and another 13. Those were the two that I was watching. Another 13 didn't really interest me that much, but I was going to put a bid in because I know it's kind of hard to find. And then, yeah, the bid on another 13 just went crazy. I think I put a bid in for around $200 for it, because that's about retail for it. And it went up to like $400 and some, guys. And I was like, holy jeez, what's in this stuff? So I started researching because it was pretty expensive. And I was bidding on Poivre 23 too, and that went extravagant too, so I didn't get it. But either way, I found out that there's this website in France that has an exclusive on another 13, Colette.fr from France, and they ship across the world. So it is available, and that guy paid an extravagant price for nothing, because I got myself a bottle of another 13 for under 200 bucks with shipping. I think it was 170 American, give or take. So it wasn't that expensive. I got 50 mil. This is what I got, another 13. And it just really piqued my interest. This is a blind buy. I didn't have a sample of this. I never smelt this before. I did some research. I know Franck has this fragrance. I know a few maybe New Yorkers out there that are fragrance reviewers have this fragrance. And I started taking a look because I purchased it. I blind bought it. So this one has a reputation of being strange, and you guys know strange is almost my middle name, guys. I love fragrances that are unique. When you smell thousands of fragrances in your lifetime, you are going to pinpoint, you know, high quality fragrances. You're going to know that something is unique because you smell it so much. Another 13 really piqued my interest. Let's smell it. Yeah. It is very strange. This one is in collaboration with the magazine Another, and that's where the Another name comes from. And on first sniff, this does smell like a magazine. Yeah, maybe it's because it's on paper strip, I don't know. But it does smell like a magazine. It smells like paper. It smells like that strange cheap glue that they have in magazines sometimes that you can smell gluing the magazine together. Yeah. It's soapy in a way, clean, but if you dig your nose deep in this fragrance, it's like there's an animalistic appeal just dying to just come out, like an animalistic or musky appeal that really wants to go to the forefront of the fragrance, but never does. It just stays in the background. This is really not for everyone. I'll be honest with you, if you really like your dark fragrances, you know, your woods, your spice, and all this, even if you like animalistic fragrances, I really don't think this is up your alley. I think this is more for guys like Franck that like things like deodorant, iris-based fragrances, clean fragrances, but have like a, you know, a nose for something a little different to change the fragrance a little, to be a little more daring. And Another 13 does this. It's a clean fragrance with a kind of like picture a white shirt with a small stain on it to keep you entertained. This is one of those fragrances. It really is like a clean fragrance that has like something, an appeal to it. And Another 13, not really up my alley, to be honest. Like, I like daring fragrances that have like a huge leather or tobacco or something like that, incense and stuff like that. So this is much more on the other side of things, that has like a clean appeal, but it has like a small stain in the background trying to get your attention. So interesting, strange, and I'm going to delve into this one. I really, really want to delve into Another 13. Next is from my boutique shopping from Hermes. This is actually not from the Hermes Essence line. This is a fragrance that I really wanted to get from Hermes. This is, I believe, a boutique only fragrance. I love that Hermes does this. This is actually, I'll name the fragrance here, Bel Ami by Hermes. I've been wanting to get this. This is an 80s superstar, by the way. Either way, I love that Hermes takes their fragrances like this and actually, instead of discontinuing them or actually box them up in a different package, like Guerlain's Derby. You know, in Derby, it wasn't really a top seller, and Guerlain repackaged it and selling it at 3-4 times the cost that it used to be. I love how Hermes puts like Bel Ami, you know, didn't change it much, and they left it at under $100. You can only get it, I think, in boutiques. I might be wrong, but at least you can still get it at a reasonable rate that you used to purchase it back in the back when it was first a seller for Hermes. So either way, yeah, I believe this was released back in 1986. I might be wrong. It's an 80s baby, I know that. And this is the current version. This is they've changed the packaging on it, of course. And I hear there's reformulation on this. You know, when a fragrance lasts that long, of course, there's going to be a change in it. So this is the current version that you get in stores. To be honest with you guys, I'm not sure if I smelled the original before. I know I've smelt a version of this. It could be this one, it could be the other one, I don't remember. But I really remember this was bold, and I really needed to get it, and I'm very excited to have this in my collection. So Bel Ami. Oh wow. All right, this is good stuff, guys. Now Bel Ami, just to let you guys know, the reformulation and all that stuff. The old version was good. It was great. It gets praise all over the internet. This current version is still good, guys, and that's, don't overlook it just because it's, not vintage. I hate that. I hate that. Even though the vintage stuff is probably bolder and different in a way, like stronger and stuff like that, probably. But either way, this is still good juice. This reminds me of, when I first smelled this, it reminds me of Pure Distance M, that really expensive 17.5 milliliter fragrance that I have, and Derby also from Guerlain. Very much an 80s, big bold 80s fragrance, a leather-based fragrance with many layers. That's what I like about this fragrance. It's got, it's dry, it's warming, but also has some cooling notes, like that bergamot in the intro really hangs in there and keeps it balanced. It has many green and woody facets to keep this one dark enough. It's well blended. The one thing wearing this that really kind of got me off guard is I was scared that I was dating myself, that I was smelling like an older man, because, I'm not going to say this is dated as far as the fragrance goes, because I really think you can pull this off in 2012, 2013, so no worries there. But it just kind of feels like, an older man would be wearing this, to be honest with you. So when I was wearing it overseas, like I was just trying to tippy-toe, but I pulled it off. I'm in my late 20s, and I really think that, you can definitely wear this, but be warned, it's really a refined taste, to be honest with you. Bel Ami, very, very good fragrance. Now let's keep it going with the Hermes fragrances that I got in Munich. I got 3 of them, including Bel Ami, and I got 2 Hermes Essence. Now I'm almost done my Hermes Essence collection. These are basically the end of the collection here. I believe the only ones that I don't have in my collection is the Rose one and the Osmanthus one. So I believe I'm only missing 2. So this is like the tail end, and these are the last of the group. Now this one, let's tackle one of them. This one is called Paprika Brazil. again, this is of course I think my 8th or 9th bottle from Hermes Essence. So it wasn't the first one that I wanted, and I'm just collecting these to finish up the collection. So Paprika Brazil, again, I had this overseas while I was overseas for the 2 months that I had it. And let's smell it, and I'm going to give you guys my take, because I got to tell you my first take on it. Yeah. When I first sniffed this back when I first got it, you know, I just bought it at the Hermes boutique just like that. I was like, I don't have that, I'll take those two. And on my way, right? And then I'm just gonna spend some time with it overseas. When I first smelt this, it felt like I was thinking, like I was taken aback. I was like, this is paprika, so this is gonna be a spicy fragrance, right? And I thought, okay, this should be way darker than I'm sniffing here. When I first smell this piece of paper right now, it's a watery floral hit with mild woods. I was like, what the hell is this? Where's the spice? The iris note in this fragrance took over. And my iris note friends definitely smell this. It made this fragrance way more clean than spicy. I was actually more confused than anything when smelling this. You need this one to sit on your skin for a good 30 minutes to an hour to first get that actual spice to kick in. The whole idea of this fragrance is way off. You know, if you're thinking you're getting a spicy fragrance like a red hot bottle here with the red cap, you're way off. The whole idea is way off. I really wanted it to be something else. I was expecting something else, and I got something way left field. Overall, it's okay. The overall quality is good, but it's nothing I'd pay big money for, guys. And that's, you know, there's a very thin line with a collector and somebody that's looking for a fragrance. This is, it doesn't have much to it. It's minimalistic like Elena does, very minimalistic. Don't expect a winter or fall like spicy fragrance here. You're not going to get it. I really think this is basically more geared towards spring just because of that iris note. I really like to wear that type of fragrance. I mean, it warms up in the dry down, but to be honest, paprika is definitely not the major note in this fragrance, to be honest. Iris is kicking butt in this fragrance from the intro right to the end. Really not worth the Hermes Essence price, to be honest with you guys. This is just a collection-based purchase for me. Next is the vanilla-based fragrance, Vanille Galante. Now this fragrance, being a vanilla lover, you guys would have thought that I bought this maybe, you know, way early in the Hermes Essence. You know, get my Vetiver Tonka, get my Homme Narguilé, and then get this because I'm a huge vanilla fan. Sadly, this is not my type of vanilla, guys. I love what Elena did with it. But I really wasn't, you know, I have to get this. This is like one of my last purchases from the Hermes Essence line, and there's a reason for it. So it's not your typical vanilla. The vanilla is really nice in this. I really like what Elena did with it. I'm not sure this would be on many men's lists, to be honest, as a Hermes Essence that you're going to buy in your first like 3 purchases. I might be wrong, but for me, it's excellent. It has a sweetness of the vanilla. It's almost icing like. It really felt like vanilla icing on a cake, paired with a beautiful white floral. The vanilla is in the forefront, but never really took charge of this fragrance. It really kind of shared the stage with the florals. I really think the florals were also high up there. I like it, but again, not a favorite for me. I'd rather have like a boozy vanilla fragrance, kind of like Eau Duel by Diptyque, or Spiritueuse Double Vanille, you know, Tobacco Vanille, something a little more rugged. This one's more really unisex, almost more in a women's section than anything else. Nicely done. Quality. Is it worth the Hermes Essence pricing? I think so, just because it's unique, but for the right person. I don't think it would be somebody, like for me, it was like probably my 6th or 7th bottle from the Hermes Essence line, and that was just for collection purposes. So again, for the pricing, it all depends on you. Alright guys, now to probably the most, one of the biggest designer releases in 2012, at least for the most recent, from the house of Thierry Mugler. This is of course Angel Man, pure leather, the leather-based fragrance from Thierry Mugler. Getting a lot of, mostly hate. I would say it's more like a 70% of the people in the YouTube community or Facebook are hating on this fragrance, and then the other 30 are loving this fragrance. So it's going to be interesting to first sniff this fragrance, and let's sniff it out, and I'm going to let you guys know what I think of it. And To be honest, you guys know I'm a huge leather-based fragrance head. I love leather-based fragrances. And if you can add that to immediate release, I'm gonna be jumping all over it. So let's sniff this fragrance out. And I'm gonna let you guys know what I think of it. And, okay. And again, this is a first impression, but to me, this thing, pure leather hasn't changed much from the original DNA from Amen. I really can't pinpoint, like, I can smell the original characters of, you know, that caramel and that coffee and vanilla and the patch and the mint, and I can smell everything from the original Amen in here. And it smells like they kind of played with the tar note a little bit, kind of making it like more of a smoky feeling to the fragrance, and kind of giving it a picture of leather. It's kind of like, okay, let's put the name leather in it and make people think that, you know, it's a leather-based fragrance. I can see where you can get really into this fragrance and be like, yeah, this smells like leather. It has a smoky aspect to it, you know, a smoky leather feel. But no, it's more like the tar note getting kind of played with a little bit, give it a little bit of smoke. Kind of makes it feel really synthetic and not really what I was thinking. Again, this is just the introduction of this fragrance, but I don't really detect anything really different from the intro to Angel Man Pure Leather to really give this like a huge leather-based blast. I know what people are saying, that they can smell it, and I can definitely see why people would think that. But people that have been, you know, really into their Angel Men collection, you know, wearing pure malt and wearing pure coffee, wearing the original and smelling this, you'll see that they just tinkered with it. And if you've smelt the original Amen and it's your signature scent and you own it, and you'll know what I mean. And this is something, I'd keep my money, to be honest. I don't think I'd be purchasing this if I had the original Amen. It doesn't really change, not much, to warrant a purchase. If you're a collector, yeah, get the bottle, right? I'm gonna have to dissect it a little more. Maybe it's gonna give me a little more when it starts drying down. But mostly these Amen flankers, you're gonna get it right in the intro. What's different? Not really more in the dry down. It may linger that tar note a little bit and give that smokiness to it, maybe. It might be a nice addition. For now, it's good because it is, you know, that original Amen DNA. You know, it smells great, but not much of a change, and that's the reason for it. Next is a brand that I've never heard of on YouTube, so it is an exclusive here, and this is Noble 1942, I believe is the name of the brand, if I'm correct. And they released these 3 little fragrances. I'm not sure if it was last year. I remember it was on the original page, and it's you can't get like full bottles of this. This is like 30 mils of 3, and it's perfect for this time of year. It's called Le Petit Chocolatier, and just a little chocolatier basically. And this is perfect for this time of year. And these are 3 fragrances that have a different chocolate-based smell. They come in little 30 ml bottles like this. You get 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. And they give you a different take on chocolate. I believe it's under $100 to get all 3. You can't get like 100 ml bottles of these fragrances yet. You just have to get the set. I thought it was going to be a limited edition, so I'm trying to snatch it up right now just to make sure that they're not just going to skip it, because Noble's not really known for these type of sets. I believe it's still available as we speak, so if you're really interested in chocolate-based fragrances, I'll let you guys know what these smell like. So let's smell number 1, Petit Chocolatier numéro 1. This one is called Confiture, and that's basically, in English, it's basically, you know, your jams and stuff in the morning. Confiture. And this really reminds me of just a piece of toast. You got a piece of toast and you're drizzling chocolate sauce over marmalade. I know it kind of sounds gross, but or maybe more of a chocolate fondue, and you're dipping a orange in there, an orange slice being dipped into it. A very beautiful chocolate scent. Not that this has not been done before. I've smelt a lot of orange and chocolate combos, which work very well. I really like that one. Number 2, this one actually has like little a little decoration on it. This one's called Praline. And wow, this one actually, when I got the sample of this one, I really liked it. It's not my favorite, but it's probably number 2 on my list. My favorite's going to be the one coming out number 3. Number 2, this one is praline, and it delivers, guys. It smells like it. It's a fruity, praline-like quality to the fragrance. Kind of has like a honeyed sweetness to it. Very nice. Very well done chocolate with praline, and nicely done. Number 2. These are really worth the price, to be honest, if you're a chocolate lover. Number 3, which is actually my favorite of the bunch. This one is called, I believe, Noir Intense. But it's probably the best chocolate one out of all 3. It really has that chocolate note coming out. Yeah. That chocolate note is up front and center. Really taking charge, and that's why it's my favorite. It's simple. These are all simple fragrances. They don't give you much, but really what you smell is what you get, basically. There's a little bit of coconut in here, so it kind of smells like a Bounty bar, to be honest with you. But more chocolate than coconut. I think, you know, there's a lot more coconut in a Bounty bar than chocolate. This has a lot more chocolate to it, and coconut kind of in the background. Really nicely done. I really like this little set, so worth the price, in my opinion. Next is from the house of Guerlain, and this is a fragrance that, to be honest, I didn't want to get. It's from the Elixir line. This is more of a feminine brand. They have, the one that I really wanted was the Gourmand Coquin. That's the one that I ordered. And I got, this one was Chypre Fatale. And this is the one that was like way off my radar. I wasn't actually interested in it at all, but once I got the package, I was like, you know what, I'll take it. You know, it'll be good for a review, and it sucks that I got this instead of Gourmand Coquin, but that's the thing. You know, I'm a collector, and I'll take it, no problem. So Chypre Fatale, I really don't have, you know, I really wanted the Gourmand Coquin. This is a blind buy. I have no idea what it smells like. I'm thinking it's highly feminine from what I've seen online. It's not one of the best of the line, and let's sniff it out and see what I get. Yeah. Shit. Oh man. Highly feminine, honestly. I would never recommend this to a man. Not that you guys would be looking at this, but either way, Chypre Fatale. So my loss might be my wife's gain, depending if she likes this. This is highly sweet vanilla. It's got a peach note in here. Fruits, there's florals in here. Peach is a huge note in this fragrance, and peach is a note that is in mainly a lot of women's fruity fragrances. You're going to see that note peach all over the place. It's in a lot of designer fragrances, and this is for a high-end Guerlain, to be honest, guys. This smells like a mainstream fragrance for women. I don't really think this sets itself apart to be like 200, what retail, $240 for these, I think. A big pass for men, of course, and for women alike. This pricing is for what you're getting. No, I would never get that. I would never recommend this for a woman. Sadly disappointed in this juice, Chypre Fatale. All right, guys, this is the part of the video that gets a little more interesting. These are, of course, I always leave my jewels of my haul in the back end of my haul videos, but now this is where it gets interesting. These are all online purchases. These are all fragrances, to be honest, that I've been searching for, or I've had Lucky Scent samples of them and I've been wanting to get them for years, or they're new releases. So I'm going to let you guys know about them, but these are the ones that I really wanted. So let's start with the house of Parfumerie Générale. Now this, of course, this house is not getting a lot of love on YouTube, actually hardly any. And it's really sad, because this fragrance house, A, for a niche fragrance house, is very affordable, and B, their scents are absolutely outstanding. They have a great line. I own 3 or 4 of their fragrances. This is a new addition to my line. This is actually their most popular fragrance in the whole line. A lot of bloggers and a lot of base noters really recommend this one as the first purchase of the line, and then go But for me, I really want to get the shine on this fragrance house. I'm hopefully get a couple fragrances out there as a full-fledged review on my YouTube channel. But this one, Cosé, is basically the all-star of the fragrance house. This is like the Chergui of the Serge Gitane house. You know, this is the one that you should be sniffing out first. For me, I found other fragrances a little more interesting than this one. This one is still an all-star. I highly recommend this fragrance. Now, I've smelt this quite a bit. I've had samples of Cosé since when I first started on YouTube. So I know about this fragrance. I just never really pulled the trigger. Finally did this time around. And this thing, to be honest, all you guys out there that like that cannabis note in fragrances, this one has it. It has coffee, it's got chocolate, it's got wood, pepper, patchouli. Really interesting note breakdown. If you take a look at this on Lucky Scent, you will see that. Very interesting. So let's smell it. Oh yeah. First thing that comes to mind is very warm and comforting fragrance. There's a heavy patchouli note in this. You can smell the coffee bean. It's got a cannabis note in here. It surely has some green aspect to it. Some chocolate, ebony wood, and some pepper and some spice. Really warm, comforting, perfect for winter nights and fall nights, definitely. Lots of woods. Lots of greens. Someone kind of described this fragrance. I saw it online. I don't remember which website or where I saw it, but it's in my head right now. Someone described this as wet hemp and coffee and tons of cloves and woods. And that's definitely bang on. Very dry, interesting scent. Smoky, off the wall, hard to wear. These type of fragrances are going to be hard to wear depending on the user. I love this fragrance just because it's so different. I'm looking for unique fragrances that are bold in the fragrance game, that are well balanced, and they got really many facets to discover. You know, I want to be entertained. I want to know, I don't want to know about the fragrance, all about it in the first 2 minutes that I smell it. This one does it. It's a frag head's dream to discover a scent like this. Highly recommended for advanced sniffers, definitely. If you like, you know, those off-the-wall Serge Gitane fragrances like Borneo 1943 or 34, sorry. Borneo and, you know, just off-the-wall fragrances like that. You know, the Naso Mato line, the Pardons and the Juros and Black Afghano even. Very off-the-wall fragrances. You're going to like this Cosé. Very, very nice by Parfumerie Générale. Next is another fragrance house that should get a lot of shine on YouTube. Sadly, they don't. I love the triple-headed monster of this perfume house, which is called Parfum d'Empire. The three-headed monster is Cuir d'Ottoman, Ambre Russe, and Wazamba. I think those are the three jewels of the line. Again, same thing as Parfumerie Générale. You know, a niche fragrance house that the prices aren't, you know, crazy. Still affordable. And very interesting fragrances. You know, they really, the quality is better than the price asked. You can do worse, a lot worse in the niche house. Now, I already have Cuir d'Ottoman from them. I don't have the three-headed monster yet. I just purchased Ambre Russe. This is what I got today. Very, very nice fragrance. A very nice amber-based fragrance. I really wanted to get this a long time ago. I still need to get Wazamba. I've smelt them all. I'm blown away by all of them. So you're gonna know already that this is gonna be a good fragrance for me. And for the price, again, for the price, this amber-based fragrance may be the best on the market. Looking at price and quality, it's rich and it's warm. It's got a vodka note in here now. It has like a boozy base to it. Now, don't think, you know, when you first smell a fragrance that's like poor quality, you can kind of smell the alcohol. No, no, this is like a vodka-like note. Trust me, I know that vodka doesn't really, but it's got that boozy, but it also has that huge wall of amber surrounding this fragrance. There's cinnamon, there's incense, there's tea note in here too. Really blends well, makes this a beautiful mix of notes, blended absolutely well. I think the booziness with the cinnamon and the spice and the amber are the superstars of this scent. Beautiful. Ambre Russe is really one of the high-end ambers on the market today. And it goes to show you, you don't have to pay $300, $400, $500 to get high quality amber based fragrance. It's right in front of me for, I got this 50 ml, I think it was under 100 bucks. Good to go. Ambre Russe, one of the high-end fragrances out there. Next is, again, a fragrance that's hard to find. It kind of has a mystique to it because some people say it's not available, it's not, you know, people think it's just a myth. It's from the House of Montal. Now this one I believe is only available in the UAE. I could be wrong, but this one called Kabul Oud. So this one has kind of like a mystic to it. This is, I'll be honest with you guys, I've been wanting to get this as a blind buy. This is a collector's dream. Getting a fragrance like this that's really hard to find. I know this is a bad way to purchase fragrances, but you know, if I ever decide to sell off my collection, you know, fragrances like these are going to sell really quickly. So let's smell this one. I'm going to let you guys know what Kabul Oud smells like. Now Kabul is actually a city in Afghanistan. Oud is not really, as far as the locals go, they don't really wear oud, so it's not really a big note in fragrances over there. It's not what they're known for. So let's smell it and see. Now the first, it's excellent fragrance. The first thing that comes to mind is it's not your typical big bracing oud note that you get from a lot of Montals, what you come to expect from the brand. Overall in this intro I get a lot of incense, so I get some smoke, a little bit of oud, it's there but not much, some floral, not much again. I know a lot of oud based fragrances have like that high floral and oud note and they mesh together. That's what Montal's known for. Both of those are really in the background and it's not really the main idea of this. This is more a woody and incense like fragrance, to be honest. Getting a lot of cedar in here. I don't know, I don't think I found a note breakdown on this. So cedar, I really think it's not big or bracing. It's not a wallop of it, but it's good enough that it's there. It's on your. You'll definitely notice it. It's very good stuff indeed, to be honest. Really nicely blended. Not in your face, but for a collector like myself, you can't go wrong with this fragrance. I wouldn't say it's the best Montal ever, but it's very, very nicely done. Kabul Oud, I really like this one. Now talking about hard to get fragrances, again this is another one. This is from the House of Creed. Now I told myself, you know, you bought enough Creed here. You got all the major players in my collection. I have over, I would say probably 24 Creed fragrances available to me now. I purchased a lot of the exclusive line this year and I told myself I should slow down, you know. I got Jardin d'Amalfi, Spice and Wood, and I got Windsor, I got Sélection Verte. I got a lot of them. And I told myself, no, you're not going to get anyone. This one was on my list for a while. This is a blind buy. I was getting a really hard time finding this because it's discontinued from the House of Creed, but I've been hearing a lot of great things, and when I found a good price on it, I had to jump on it. This is an eBay purchase. This is a 4-ounce bottle of Green Valley. I had to get the 4-ounce bottle just because I wanted to match my other bottles from Creed, and I've heard great things about this. You know, some people are actually dubbing this the best green fragrance in the Creed collection, even better than Green Irish Tweed. So that, you know, when I heard that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it. I was just waiting for the right time, and this year, this time, this is not seasonal based, so you know I'm not gonna be wearing this until spring. But very green fragrance. Let's sniff this one. I want to see if the hype is correct on this guy. And wow, wow, right away. You know when you smell Creed, that Creed DNA that you first smell, that just sets it apart from other fragrance houses. It's there. I can smell it right away, and that's why I say wow, because I smell it and I'm like, yes, this is a Creed fragrance. Very nicely blended. Oh. Beautiful green fragrance. To be honest, the hype is real on Green Valley. I really think this is really close to being the best green fragrance in the Creed lineup. Wow, the mint in here, there's mint in here, very nicely done. It reminds me of the mint, some of the mint in Sélection Verte from Creed, from the exclusive line. They take that from there. It has a grassy green feel to it that kind of resembles the Green Irish Tweed, kinda. There's some black currant in here. kind of blueberry-like, kind of like a fruity note. Very, very nice. And some ginger. I can definitely get some ginger out of here. From first sniff, this is probably one of the most underrated creeds. Wow. Yeah, one of the most underrated creeds on the market today. A lot of people are talking about the big boys. If you like green Irish tweed, if you like green-based fragrances, you gotta get this one. This blind buy was well worth it for me. I spent, it was cheap. It was like 200 bucks, guys. I got it on eBay. You gotta be patient. But a 4-ounce bottle of this stuff was well worth it for me. Wow, crisp, green Irish tweed's brother. Not exactly the same. I'm not going to say it's more modern than green Irish tweed. Some people think that green Irish tweed's not modern enough. It's kind of dated. I really like this stuff. Green Valley, really well done. I really didn't think it was going to blow me away like it did. This is a really good one for spring and even summer. I think this would be worn well. Really good stuff. Now, talking about discontinued fragrances, I got a designer one for you. Alright guys, next is a designer fragrance that has a lot of hype backing it. This is a discontinued fragrance, and anybody that's a huge fragrance head will know about this fragrance. You'll know about the allure of this fragrance. A lot of people talk about it. A lot of experienced knows say you gotta have this in your collection. And for me, I was kind of, you know, when I first heard about this, it was probably in the mid-2000s. I know it was discontinued and the price keeps going higher and higher online for getting a fragrance, getting this fragrance. There's fakes around, you gotta be careful. And really, this one from the House of Dolce & Gabbana, this is by Man. And if you haven't heard of this, this has legendary status going on. And this is what's wrong with the fragrance community. Well, any community, right? You wanna get something that's rare. It's something that's, you know, hard to find, and people are thinking, you know, they're gonna pay outrageous prices for it. And to me, my first rule of thumb is, you know, if something's hyped, it's discontinued, and it used to be like 60 bucks at a drugstore and it got discontinued, now it's like $300. To be honest, I really wouldn't go ahead and pull the trigger. It's not going to be worth your $300. Only for people that have worn this for like 10 plus years and can't find a bottle anymore, I think it would be worth it for them because they're gonna wear it as their signature scent. But I think as a collector or something like that, for me, this is just to have my nose on it. I want more experience in the fragrance game. I want to know what the classics are. And Dolce & Gabbana Buy has a huge following to it. And I really wanted to know what it was all about. This is a blind buy for me. The reason it took me so long to get it is because the note breakdown didn't do anything for me. I knew about the hype, but I was cautious. I was like, okay, there's fakes out there. Not only that, but the note breakdown really isn't something that I think I would like. So I'm going to let you guys know about Dolce & Gabbana Buy for Men. Word of advice, if you're interested in this fragrance, there's a lot of fakes out there that are 100 milliliter bottles. I got this one on eBay, but this is a 50 ml, and you're going to get a better chance to get a authentic product with the 50 ml. If you are able to talk to the seller and try to find this fragrance, you got to make sure that the cap's white inside. That's an authentic product. So just to let you guys know, my word of advice, the smaller sizes are better. You're going to get a better rate. I paid about, I don't know, I paid probably twice the price that this was going retail. I think I paid 140, 150, which is fine for me because I'm a collector and all that stuff. But if I was just a typical frag head, no way in hell. Most fragrances that are hyped like that are not worth the 2, 3, 4, 5 time price marking. Just because it's hard to find. You know, you'll have a better chance getting something else. It's only worth it for, again, collectors or people that had this fragrance before. So let's smell it, and I'm going to let you guys know what I think about it, my initial impression. Okay, first thing comes to mind when I first smell this is it's a versatile scent. I can definitely see somebody wearing this as a signature scent, which is always a good thing, especially when you're paying this type of price. It has a good balance. It's clean. I'm smelling lavender, which is a nice lavender note. Don't get me wrong. It's got some darker notes coming in. I don't know if it's tobacco or leather or both. A little bit of pepper, I think. There's a little bit of backbone to it. So it's kind of middle ground, right? There's some cleanness, and then there's some rough and tumble notes here that are probably going to evolve on my skin. Nicely blended, which is good. To be honest, in the designer game, this would be, you know, if this was still available in stores for like 60, 70 bucks, I'd be like, yeah, you know what, this is a quality designer fragrance. Now thinking of the price that people are asking for, $300, $200, it's worth some praise, but I don't think it's something overly unique or bold in the fragrance game. I don't think it's a pretty safe scent. When I smell this, I'm not like, wow, this is, you know, out of this world. I've never smelled this before. It's wonderfully blended, which is, you know, something in the designer game that's, you know, quality ingredients, which is something to be desired for a lot of designer fragrances. So it does kind of stand out in that way. And for $60, $70, yeah, I would say, you know, really good. But now that we're looking at $200 and $300 dollars, and you have to blind buy this, to be honest, not one of my favorites. And you know, that's the whole thing. You know, test. Don't believe in the hype, and that's the thing. You know, you gotta test. And for me, I'm gonna cherish this because I'm probably, you know, once I'm done with fragrances, I could probably sell this for 200 bucks easy. But it's a good investment for me, and it's good for my collection. But to be honest, it's not gonna get much wearing from me. I like it, but I'm not in love with it, and I don't think it's worth the pricing that they're asking for. To be honest, quality. For designer fragrance, yeah, they should actually re-release this because it's good, but not for the price they're asking now. All right, guys, let's jump into the House of Slumber House. Now, Slumber House is getting some love lately, finally, from the YouTube community. I first smelled this fragrance house from my friend in Germany that sadly is probably not watching this video now. He kind of got away from the fragrance game, sadly. But he sent me a sample pack way back, I think early 2012, and it had a sample of Slumber House of Norn. And when I took a little vial, I looked at it and I'm like, black juice, and that's that excites me. Black Afghano, you know, black juice, black tourmaline, anything that has black juice excites me because it's like, this is gonna be dark, it's gonna have incense, it's gonna have woods, it must be good. Black juice excites me. Quote me. Anyway, yeah. So when I first smelled that in early 2012, I was like, yep, this is bye. And Slumber House is getting a lot of love. And in the YouTube fragrance community, well deserved, finally. It's actually getting some love on base notes too now. So very, I would say underrated before this year. And I wished I would have introduced the line much earlier in my YouTube career, but better, I'm not late, I'm just into, you know, it's just getting full steam ahead to the House of Slumber House. If you haven't heard of them, good. I'm happy to introduce this line to you. I'm not the first to talk about them on YouTube, but definitely check them out. So I did get Norn, and then I actually purchased 2 Slumber House fragrances on indiescents.com. Yeah, they're an affiliate of Lucky Scent. It's actually my first time purchasing from them. A really good service, high-end, send samples just like Lucky Scent does. Really good service. So I got Norn and I got Rum. So let's tackle the known evil, Norn. I got little 30 milliliter bottles here. They kind of look like I don't know, something that my wife would have. Now, this is actually not black juice, it's actually dark green. I don't know if you can see that piece of paper, it's got green juice, so definitely not on a white shirt. And this stuff's potent, guys. Like, look, I'm holding this right here. I can smell from here on this piece of paper. This stuff radiates. It's, maybe it's highly toxic. It's green, I don't know, no. Either way, very pine-like, very green, woody. Yeah, resinous, green, tons of pine in here. Perfect for this time of year, very dark. It brings me to Christmas time just because of that pine. There's some spice in here. I think it's pepper. I could be wrong, but there is a kick of spice in here. There's a little bit of incense, but the pine is the main focus. There's a little bit of moss. There's some greenness to it. It might not be moss, but there is some green to it. It really just transport me to, I would say, like a dark forest. You know, you're at night, there's snow all around, you're all alone, it's very dark, kind of scary. Yeah, if you like crazy stuff like I do, you know, incense, heavy resinous fragrances, woody based fragrances. This one's gonna make you smile. This is under 100 bucks. I get 30 mils and stunning. For under 100 bucks, stunning. Damn it. This is absolutely gorgeous. And it's not for everybody, of course not, because this is, you know, different and bold. And it might not be for everybody. Anyway, one of the best buys of 2012 for me, under 100 bucks. You know, you don't have to be dark, daring, and beautiful like this. And you don't have to pay. You see, I only paid like, I think this was 75 bucks. So you don't have to pay huge prices to get these bold fragrances. Now, next, rum. R-U-M-E. I don't know if it's called rum or rummy. I didn't really do that much research on this brand. They're kind of new to me. Anyway, this was a blind buy. I was like, you know what? While I'm on Indie Sense, let's check out what else this guy's done. And this one really sounded interesting to me. I think the notes in here were, I don't know what they had. I think there was like a lot of spice in here. I'm not sure. Let's smell it. Again, dark juice, kind of greenish. Oh yeah, this is Serge Lutens Christopher Sheldrake inspired fragrance. Very off the wall, dark. Bay leaves, yes, that's what it was. Bay leaves in here. Dark, mysterious. I don't know if there's cloves in here. Very spicy. If you're really a fan of the off-the-wall Serge Lutens house, pushing the envelope, you know, you need to smell both these, Norn and rum. Wow. This one really reminds me of a thick, dark spiced tea, like really dark spiced tea. You know, those people that really want like a heavy spiced tea. Whew, yeah. It reminds me, smelling it now, picture this, a man has smoking a cigar, having the strongest drink for man, something that puts hair on your chest, I don't know. And sitting in a leather chair. Now I don't know if there's leather or there's any smoke in here. It's more spice than anything, but wow. Beautiful. Both of these, $75 each, I think, for 30 mils. He might have, I think he has 100 milliliter bottles now on his website, at Summer House website. If not, go to Indie Scents. They're amazing, just like Lucky Scent. Awesome. A very unique juice. Really dark. Nice. Let's go to the house of Histoire de Parfum. If you guys remember earlier in the year when I went to New York, I purchased Iberum from them, and I told you guys that I was going to buy Amber 114. I wasn't lying. Amber 114 is now in my possession. I purchased it this time off. I didn't really have a sample, so I didn't really remember what it smelled like, but I remember I was impressed. So I was like, you know what? There's only one guy that I trust with fragrances, as much as I do. Trust a lot of reviewers. I write down, you know, a lot of things when I think something's interesting, but there's one guy that I trust, and it's myself. So if I remember that something's good, I'm gonna buy it. And that's how the philosophy that you guys should have. Trust your own nose. It's always a good rule to follow. But definitely, let's smell this sucker, because it's been a long time coming. Now this one has, you can smell it already. It's got a really balanced, really nicely done. And wow, I got a good note. It's good that I remember that I liked it. A nice amber-based fragrance. It has a lot of sweetness to it. It's got vanilla. I know it's got vanilla. Actually, it's got the note breakdown on the bottle, I think, eh? Does it have vanilla? Imagine it doesn't. It's got rose, patchouli, sandalwood, cedar, vetiver, amber, vanilla. There you go. Tonka. Yeah. There you go. There's your sweetness. Yeah, I can smell the creamy sandalwood coming in, some florals, a little bit of spice here. There's a nice nutmeg note up top. Here, that's not nutmeg. Anyway, wow, it's thick. It's a thick amber, but not too thick. You know, there's a lot of ambers out there, like Amber Absolute. That's thick. That's an amber-based fragrance. This one's more like a, hi, I'm Amber, how are you? You know, like a first timer. I really think that this one, like, it's complex, it's got a lot to it, it's got vanilla, so if you really like sweet fragrances, this one's good. Smooth, and really anyone new to amber-based fragrances in the niche market, start here. This is soft enough to be really worn by anybody, really pleasant, and it's a good start into the amber field. I really think that it's not bold enough to really take someone aback. The sweetness really takes over in this fragrance, to be honest. I really like it because I got a sweet tooth, so I like that one. Amber 114, solid. Histoire de Parfum. Now I can check out the rest of the line because that was bugging me. I had to get that one first. All right, guys. Now, time for my Tom Fords. Now, I wasn't expecting to get this much Tom Ford this haul. Actually, I wanted the discontinued ones. I was looking for Japon Noir and Moss Brèche. And those were the two that I really wanted. They're discontinued, they're hard to find, and I was really on a mission to get these two fragrances. I had to get them in 50 ml bottles because I'm a collector. You know, I'm trying to get the whole Tom Ford line. I'm pretty damn close to getting the whole line now. I think I'm up to 10 bottles or 11 bottles now, maybe more. I got 3 this haul. I wasn't expecting getting 3, but I got 3. That's how I go, and that's how things roll. Tom Ford, I'm always blind buying them. I never smelt these fragrances before. I'm going by what I see online and what I find interesting. I'm trying to get the discontinued fragrances more from that line because they get more expensive. You know, the rarer they are, the more expensive they are, of course. I was successful in one of them, Japon Noir. I got it, finally got it. Anybody that's on the Facebook group, I got it. I remember you guys saying, you'll get it, Mark. Just be patient. I got it on eBay. I think it was a Canadian guy that had it, I think. And I didn't get the box with it. I don't really care about the box, whatever. Tom Ford boxes, they all look alike anyway. But I got it, finally. Japon Noir, full bottle. So let's delve into Japon Noir. Wow, I can't wait to smell this fragrance again, a blind buy. Very interesting fragrance. I've worn it a few times already because, you know, a fragrance like this, I really want to wear it and I want to see what it's going to give to me. And Japon Noir is, the thing that got to me is Japan, like Japon, oriental fragrances like that come from that side of the country that are trying to be more oriental, like not oriental the group, but oriental like Japan and China and things like that. Those people in those countries like smooth fragrances, like pure heavy citrus and stuff like that. They really like minimalistic fragrances. But this one's called Japon Noir, which is black. So a fragrance that is darker, and yeah, like this is dark, guys. I believe this is a leather-based fragrance. I might be wrong. It's got something green to it, either vetiver or patch or both, and there's some amber in here. It's not too bold. I wouldn't say it's a heavy hitter. Like I know a lot of Tom Fords, like Tuscan Leather, Amber Absolute, Tobacco Vanille, are really heavy hitters on your skin. You know, projection, longevity, 10 out of 10 usually. This one, more smooth. I think smooth is a good way to describe Japon Noir. Really a dark fragrance that kind of held back a little bit. It's got a smoky leather-like feel. It can be fooled as being incense. I really think that people probably think there's incense. There might be, and I mean, I might be fooled, but I really think it's a smoky leather-like note. And maybe that's why this got discontinued. They're like, well, Tuscan Leather is a leather-based fragrance too, and you know, it's probably the better seller, so let's get rid of this one. Very nicely done, balanced well. This one is worth, you know, the love for it, and sadly discontinued from Tom Ford. But I'm happy I got a 50 ml bottle. It's full, except for the couple sprays that I wore. But really good buy for me from Tom Ford. Let's go back to Tom Ford. Yes, Oud Wood is my next bottle, number 2. Oud Wood is getting lots of love on YouTube and our Facebook groups. It's actually one of the most popular oud-based fragrances right now. I would say a lot of people are talking about Oud Wood a lot. I was actually really into the market for a lot of oud-based fragrances this haul, and you can see that I didn't get much oud. I was really wanting to get Healy's oud. I wanted to get Maison Francis K's oud. I wanted his. I wanted Mona Diorio's oud, which I did. I wanted to get a couple of ouds from Montal, a couple of ouds from Micallef. So I was really into getting a lot of ouds, and I didn't get that many. I got probably 3 or 4 in this haul, and that's it. I wanted to get a lot of ambers, and I did this haul, but this is really a good mix. So anyway, this one's probably one of the most popular Tom Fords at the moment, and the reason why I'm so late of getting this fragrance is because I know Tom Ford's vision for oud already because of M7, and this is often compared to M7, so I was really like, you know what, I'm going to put this one on the back burner, and I'm going to purchase other fragrances from Tom Ford private blend that I know that are not compared to something, you know, that I already have. So things like Tobacco Vanille, Amber Absolute, I purchased before this, and Neroli Portofino, and all those, you know, I got several of them. So this is one of my last Tom Fords to purchase, Oud Wood. And let's see if it's comparable to M7. Let's see if he actually used the same DNA for his private blend. And I get what people are saying. It has that same, it doesn't have a big bracing oud note like M7. It's more of about the fragrance itself as a, you know, the supporting roll notes are really out there. Does it smell alike? It's hard because it's close. I wouldn't say they smell the same. It's compared. I think it's, you know, people saying that it smells like M7 have a point in a way. I really think that, you know, if you smelt them both, you're like, probably you'd be like, this is the same guy doing the same thing, right? It's soft, but it keeps bringing you in. It has that appeal that M7 had. You know, it kept bringing you in. The oud was kind of soft. It's not big and bracing. There's a creamy sandalwood note in here, if I'm not mistaken. And it's doing really well with the oud note in here. And the oud, I think, is much more bracing in this fragrance than M7, but still not bold, not in your face. It has some sweetness to it. I'm either smelling tonka or vanilla here, something really simple. And well blended by Tom Ford. I like it, and I think this would be probably better for like the Western noses out there that, you know, haven't really challenged their noses to like a big bracing oud note. I think this is a good starting point also. And last but not least, from the house of Tom Ford, the recently discontinued Bois Marocain. Yes, this fragrance got discontinued, the Amber Absolute, earlier this year, I believe. So I'm happy to get it before, you know, it's really hard to find and I got to pay an outrageous price for it. And that's the reason why I bought it, because it was on my Tom Ford list that I had to get. And then when I heard it was discontinued, I'm like, hell no, I'm buying it now. Either way, let's smell it. This one was really interesting as the note breakdown goes. So this is one of those that I was like, this I gotta get. And yeah, wow. Really an underrated Tom Ford, and you don't hear much about Bois Marocain, so I'm happy to announce it on YouTube, whatever. Bois Marocain is good. Really underrated Tom Ford fragrance here. Smell it if you can. I'm sure there's a lot of bottles kicking around here and there before, you know, the discontinued. When a bottle gets discontinued like this, the first year a lot of stores are gonna be selling leftover stock. So if you can smell it, well done woods. There's some incense in here, I can smell it. I remember there was pine, I think there's vetiver in this fragrance too. I'm trying to remember the note breakdown. I think there's some green in here, either pine or vetiver. Some pepper to give it some kick. I really like pepper in my fragrances now that I have a little bit of kick, not pepper based, but really masculine. And a good solid fragrance from Tom Ford. I like pine in my fragrances around wintertime, and this one does it. Really well done. By Tom Ford. Let's go to the next one. This is of course not a Tom Ford. This is actually a brand that I don't know if it's the first time mentioned on YouTube. Either way, it deserves it. This is from the house of Boadicea, the Victorious. This is a niche house. They have excellent fragrances. This one called Explorer. I'm really on the market. It was either between this and Complex. I decided to get Explorer. Just because I really think Explorer is more my speed. I remember smelling this line in New York when I was with Julio and Frank, and I remember saying, oh, Explorer, very nice, and Complex, very nice. I just remember that from, again, trusting your own nose. So I kind of blind bought it now, trying to remember what it smelled like. This was my scent of the day, by the way, yesterday. I wore it yesterday for the first time on my skin. And guess what? I got a compliment, and I got a compliment from a lesbian lady, other than that. So anyway, compliments are few and far between, especially people coming up to you and go, you know what, I gotta tell you, you smell absolutely great. What's the name of that fragrance? Those type of compliments are very far and few in between. The Explorer got on my first wearing. This is really good for the review. It's starting off really well on my skin. Now, let's smell this. All right, time to dissect, explore, even with the great story that, you know, very first wearing. I got an amazing compliment. This is a great start for Explorer, and you know, I really enjoyed wearing this yesterday. I mean, it did really well on my skin, actually. Let's smell it, and I'm going to tell you guys what it smells like. Now, the main factor in this fragrance, it's actually a new note to my nose. Well, kind of. The note in this fragrance, the main player in Explorer is galbanum. Now, I was trying to know what galbanum smells like, because I know it has like, this fragrance kind of gives me like a green resinous feel, and I was like, okay, what does galbanum, you know, I do my research. Galbanum is very resinous, which I felt like there was a huge amber note in this fragrance, but I'm pretty sure it's the galbanum that's doing it. Resinous, green, and musky. And yeah, bang on. That's what this smells like. A huge note in here. And I don't own too many galbanum-based fragrances. I believe Bon Leo 1983 by Serge Lutens has that note. I don't think it's a major factor, but if that fragrance kind of turns you off, because it's a patchouli-based fragrance, by the way. If that fragrance kind of turns you off, Bon Leo, don't smell this. But if Bon Leo is right up your alley, because it's kind of different, this is, yeah, right up the alley of that type of fragrance head. And it takes a fragrance head with a unique taste. It's got some citrus up top, and it's got some amber, mostly resins though. Very thick, warming, perfect for these Canadian winters, you know. When it's snowing out, these type of fragrances, really dark, well balanced, and well done. And there's not too many notes in this fragrance either, so very well blended. Explorer, definitely check that out. Complex too from the brand. That's going to be my second purchase from the brand. They have a oud line that not a lot of people know about, so I just wanted to mention that. If you know those oud heads out there. I don't believe it's available in North America, the oud based line, so you're going to have to go online, but they have some interesting ones. Next is from, since we've been talking about Serge Lutens so much in this haul, because I love that brand. I own several from the brand, and I still have to purchase several from the brand. It's just a non-stop party of purchasing Serge Lutens fragrances. This one, very interesting fragrance. I hear that they're running out of sandalwood here in the Serge Lutens house of Mysore sandalwood for this fragrance, and it might get cut from the line. So when I heard that, I had to jump on it. This, of course, simple and plain, called Santal de Mysore. And there's probably a reason why there's a new sandalwood fragrance released by Serge Lutens this year, is because this one might be running out, and its time might be running out of the Serge Lutens house. So that might be a real big clue that this one might get cut, and the new sandalwood from Serge Lutens might be replacing it. So this one, the reason why I haven't purchased it, it's a beautiful fragrance. The reason why I didn't purchase it is actually a little pricier than your original Serge Lutens house. This one's actually $200 a bottle instead of, I believe they're $140 or $150 for a regular Serge Lutens fragrance, like Shepki or something like that. So it's a little pricier for the same type of juice. So let's smell it. And this one, I remember wearing this one when I had the sample, and this one jumps off your skin, guys. Very smooth sandalwood. Sandalwood is your major player. My nose is very happy right now because the sandalwood is really, really well done in this one. Now it's got caraway and a lot of spices back in it. Now caraway is basically your cousin of curry, and it will, to some people, will say that this smells like body odor just because caraway is a major player in this fragrance in the introduction. So it might really just take you aback. Give it time, give it some time, smell it, multiple wearings. Don't let that deter you of this beautiful sandalwood note in here. At some points, this it's so smooth that it's almost syrupy to me at some points. Joining the spice, of course, in the sandalwood. Very syrupy. Simple, high quality ingredients in this fragrance. There's not much to it. I really think the caraway and the sandalwood are the major players in this fragrance. Fans of sandalwood, you must try this before it's too late. And it could be your holy grail. It depends on the spice. It depends on your tolerance on the spice. I think it's a good warming background, but sometimes caraway just hits my nose quite hard. And but a good pairing and very unique way of doing sandalwood based fragrance with a lot of spice. Next is a fragrance that I absolutely love, and it's from a house that kind of like Nelson Amaro to me. You know, when I first smelled Nelson Amaro in 2011, 2010, I immediately went to the Black Juice. I went to Black Afgano. I was like, I gotta have this. And same thing with this brand, Olivier Durbano's Black Tourmaline. And you guys saw this on my update video, and I wore it that day. That was my scent of the day. And this fragrance is very smoky, and I love smoky based fragrances. Incense is absolutely a wonderful note for me. Black Tourmaline, I don't know much about the rest of the line. I'm shooting in the dark here, but I'm really thinking this is probably the best of the line. Very smoky. Lots of wood, lots of smoke, bonfire-like, guys. And some people won't like that. Very, of course, very bold, unique. There's a lot of fragrances that kind of give you that smoky. I think Interlude Man gave me that like bonfire-like smell. There's a black pepper note here that gives this one some edge. The black pepper does a really good job here. It's really high octane black pepper. Solid leather note in here. It has oud in the note breakdown, but I would not place this in an oud-based fragrance. It's really hard to pinpoint the oud in this one, if at all. More woody and smoke and pepper than anything. That has to be, you have to be a fan of smoky fragrances and woody fragrances. Very manly, beautiful. One of my favorites from the under the radar type of brands. And Olivier Durbano is one of those brands that's not really talked about at all. And I finally have a bottle. I'm very happy to have a bottle. I remember this fragrance for wanting to have this fragrance for a while now. So incense, smoky, dark, gorgeous, Black Tourmaline. Happy, very happy getting that fragrance. Really, really, really good stuff. Next is from the House of Christian Dior. This is my second from their exclusive line. My first one, of course, when I was in New York. I got Leather Oud from their Privé line, I would say. And I remember I'm on an amber kick, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to get Ambre Nuit from them. And I just want to thank my man Al, Fragrance Fanatic 1. You know, I don't have a Dior boutique near me, and he's always ready and willing to walk over there, purchase it for me, and I could send him the money and he'll send it to me. And I really appreciate, if you're watching, I really appreciate you just doing that for me. I got tons of reviewers that are always willing, and this is great about this community. You know, I'm just like, I want to blind buy something. It's hard to find online. The prices are outrageous for this. You can't get them online. You got to go to a boutique. So I got guys out there that are willing to do that for me. Al, amazing guy, always willing to do, you know, that extra effort for me. And Ambre Nuit, I did smell it in New York, and to be completely honest, I really don't remember what it smelled like. I'm on an amber kick, and I wanted to get another Christian Dior fragrance, and this is the one I wanted. So let's smell it. And Ambre Nuit is pleasant, very pleasant amber. Maybe I'm not going to say I'm disappointed, but I was kind of hoping for something a little more stronger, a stronger resinous amber from them. This seems pretty mainstream to me. For an amber-based fragrance from the Christian Dior house, I was thinking bold, and especially with the name, you know, Ambre Nuit, an amber-based fragrance for the night, I really felt like this was going to be a lot stronger. This seems really mainstream to me. Overall, it smells like something I've smelt before in the designer game. A little bit, not overall. Very pleasant. I know a lot of people are going to like this fragrance. For the price, I don't know if it's worth it. I'm trying to pinpoint, I'm sure it'll come to me after I do the video, but it smells like something that I've smelt in the designer game. I wish I had a name for you, but I don't. It has some sweetness. It's not resinous at all, to be honest with you guys, from the amber. There's a good dose of pink pepper in here and citruses. Amber, very toned down, sweet. I really need to know what the designer fragrance that I smell in this. It's not totally the same, but very, to be honest with the price point of this fragrance, Is it worth it? Depends if you like that type of fragrance, but I think you could find probably a replacement for this in the designer game fairly easy, so it's not really something that stands out, unfortunately. Like it, don't love it for the price. Next is something. Alright guys, it's time for my final 5 fragrances in this haul. I kept the best for last, always do, and these are fragrances that perhaps you heard a little bit on YouTube and some that are actually exclusives. These are fragrances that I've been sniffing out and that I've just felt like these are top-notch fragrances. These are excellent. These are great additions to my whole collection. You're going to see a lot of these pop up in my top 20 niche list, definitely. So these are the cream of the crop, the last 5 fragrances. Now, first and foremost, let's tackle one that actually hasn't been talked about on YouTube. I believe this is an exclusive for the house and the fragrance. This is a fragrance that a lot of YouTubers should not sleep on. I'm telling you right now, reviewers, subscribers, you're going to see a lot of talk about this brand in the next coming months. Hopefully from your favorite reviewer. They should get their nose on this. If not, they're not doing their job. Alright, this is from the house of Naomi Goodsir. Now, this is actually a brand new house that just came out in 2012. I believe the brand was just introduced in October or November of 2012. She released 2 fragrances, a wood-based fragrance and a leather-based fragrance. I blind bought one of them, and the other one I got a sample. Both excellent, both out of this world fragrances, to be honest with you guys. I was utterly impressed. Now, the blog world and the fragrance community, the blog world has been out for a while, and you know, there's a difference between the blog world and our YouTube fragrance community. The blog world's been out for a while, and there's a lot of them out there, so there's a lot of talk about different fragrances. There's a lot out there, a lot of content. Our YouTube community is kind of young, so things like this we need to try to keep up with the blog community, I would say. The blog community is talking a lot about this brand. This one, the wood-based one, really is getting a lot of love in that community. So I really wanted to spotlight this in this haul. So this one is called Bois d'Aissesse from Naomi Goodsir. Now this brand is available at Lucky Scent, both fragrances. Lately, when it first came out, there was a lot of love, and both of them were sold out for a period of time. You couldn't get samples, things like that. I pulled some strings, and I finally got a bottle and a sample of the other one. I wasn't going to purchase the bottle if I didn't get the sample of the other one. So happy enough that I got them. At the moment, right now, as you're watching this video, you might be able to purchase the bottles now. They're probably in stock now. And they might have samples, they might not. Just keep being patient, and Lucky Scent keeps updating, and then you can get samples of these fragrances. I highly recommend to get samples of both the fragrances. Absolutely amazing juice. I got one, I'm getting the other one in my next haul, whenever that is. I gotta get them both. Excellent juice. Packaging's absolutely great, but in these haul videos I don't really show packaging unless it's absolutely a must. But with this is absolutely crazy. So let's get to it. I'm going to let you guys know about Bois d'Aissesse. I'd love to actually do like a video about both of them, or the whole brand actually. Hopefully I got time to do that and really introduce the brand to YouTube. But you're going to hear a lot about this brand because they're absolutely gorgeous. So let's sniff it out. I'm going to let you guys know what this fragrance smells like. And these are the type of these next 5 are the type of fragrances that just puts a smile on my face, because they're going to be in my collection for a long time. They're going to be in rotation, heavy rotation. This one, I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you like your incense-based fragrances, you gotta smell this fragrance. You have to. This really reminds me of church-like frankincense. So fans of Avignon from Comme des Garçons, Jubilation 25 from Amouage, all the incense based from Amouage. If you like that frankincense, this one is a like from that. So some people don't like that. They don't really want to smell smoky like that. Me, this is absolutely gorgeous, especially in the winter, these Canadian winters. This smokiness really warms your skin. People that come close to you, they're like, you're so warming, you smell great. This incense gives so much depth to fragrances. This is masterfully done. There's tobacco in this fragrance also, just to let you know. There's also whiskey. Now the tobacco in this fragrance meshes really well with the incense. It almost smells ashy in a way. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, why do I want to smell like that? Well, for me, this is unique. It's warming. Really nicely done. There's some woods. From my wearings, there's not much whiskey in this fragrance. I know that whiskey really excited me with all these notes, incense and tobacco, and I'm sure a lot of you out there are gonna be like, whiskey, yeah, that's good, you know, boozy. To be honest, in this intro, I could not smell it. It's all about the tobacco and the incense in the woods. Very warming, very dark, very smoky. Perhaps it's going to show later on. I haven't really got like a real boozy hit from this fragrance, so stay tuned with that one. But really, it doesn't even need that booziness. It's great on its own. If it adds that booziness to the end, great. It really reminds me of a fireplace in a home. You know, I remember my home, when I was younger, we had a wood fireplace in our home, and we used to use it a lot to warm up our downstairs. And we used to use it a lot, so after like a year of use, or that season of winter, a lot of use to it, if you get close to that fireplace, you can still smell, you know, that woody, ashy and fireplace-like smell. And really, this is what it smells like not used at the moment, but like after the whole season, you can still smell it. This is great stuff. It just brings me back to almost like a Christmas-like feel to me. Very nice, well done, well blended, good quality, and that's what I want from a fragrance like this. Beautifully done by Naomi Goodsir. Definitely check them out. Check it out. Next, another brand that has been talked about on YouTube a little bit here and there, and that's the House of Kriegler. Now, I first knew about this brand from, I believe, Michael Devine from New York, and I believe I don't know if he talked about it in, I don't know if we were talking or he was talking about it. Either way, I don't think it was in a video. I'm not sure. Either way, I believe it was like a year and a half ago, or I'm not sure the timeline. Either way, he was talking about Kriegler and he was like, you gotta check these out. So I check out the brand on Fragrantica like I usually do, and just see what the brand's about and see what they have available. And a lot of them actually caught my eye. Patchouli, the oud based one, and the cognac. I was like, cognac, nice. And that's the one I got, Established Cognac from Kriegler. Now, very interesting fragrance. This is a blind buy. I didn't get samples. Again, I want to thank Alf, Fragrance Fanatic 1, getting me this. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure if they don't ship to Canada or something like that, but I had to get it through him. I really appreciate him getting me this. This is a blind buy again. I really didn't know what I was getting, but I really trust Michael, and I felt like I could blind buy this. It seemed interesting. The note breakdown looked interesting. There's not much online about this brand or this fragrance, so let's sniff this out. And I'm telling you this, I already smelt this fragrance, and I was blown away. And you really need to check this fragrance brand out if you're really a frag head. Kriegler, wow. What I smell here is boozy caramel. Boozy caramel. Woo. Yeah, boozy caramel. Now, caramel's the main theme. Booziness, the cognac is in here. Beautiful boozy roll in here. Very nicely done. Well blended. There's woods in the background to give it a little depth. But I think it has like almost a caramel apple feel. I don't know if there's apple in here. Caramel apple with a glass of cognac. And that's what it makes me think of. Yeah, really nice. I'm excited about this fragrance, and this is going to be a really good one for this season. Fall, this is going to be an amazing fall night fragrance. And I'm going to wear it in the winter too, who cares? Very nicely done. Unique, and this is great stuff, and this is what I'm looking for. In a fragrance head, you want to find something that you can't really compare this to anything. And that's the thing, it's standing out so well. I have nothing else to say. Kriegler, check out the brand. If you can get samples, get the cognac. Well done. One of my best blind buys I've ever done in my life. Next, let's tackle the big three. And I call it the big three just because this is just in another category on its own, guys. These three, I had to get them split by my splitter, Ray. Right before he wanted to take a little break from splitting, which he is taking a break right now. I was very grateful that he was able to do these 3 for me, because there's no way, and this is me talking, there's no way that I'm going to pay full retail for all 3 of these bottles. Now, I was thinking about it on all 3 of them, and you know, spare it apart, right? I can't buy all these 3. Buying these 3 together in one haul is probably $2 grand. That's how much it is. So, you know, I was going to kind of space it apart, get 1 or 2, and then, you know, in another haul get 1. Anyway, so this is like just on another level. And I'm not saying this as saying, you know, as like a snob or something, but I'm just trying to say that this is something that, you know, you have to be really delve into this whole fragrance thing. And you guys know me, I've been doing it for a long time, long before YouTube. And I am, you know, my nose is not gravitating towards, you know, $500–600 bottles, but you know, quality and pricing, to me, you know, a $700 bottle of Richwood might be something that's bonkers for somebody, but for me, if I was to sell my whole collection, these bottles would probably stay around. You know, if I only had, you know, cut it down to 20 bottles or something, these bottles are probably best in class. So that's why I got them. Now, I got them in splits, so it was a little better on my wallet. So I'm going to let you guys know these guys are heavy hitters in the fragrance game. Let's tackle them. Now, first and foremost, this one is from the house of Monadzi Audio. You've heard a little bit from this house from a lot of reviewers. For myself personally, you've heard it on my channel about her leather-based fragrance. I remember when I first bought it, I think it was in 2010 that I introduced it to YouTube. Not too sure, 2010, 2011. I bought Cuir, which is the leather-based fragrance. I tested her whole line, which is Le Nombre d'Or. That's what she actually, when she first introduced her line to Lucky Scent, when it first hit Lucky Scent. And I smelled the whole line and I felt, okay, Cuir is the only one that is really worth, I believe at the time it was $180, $190. The pricing actually went up on these fragrances this year. If you haven't noticed, I think they're $230 now. So they are going up. And anyway, I tested out the whole line. I thought the leather-based one was the only one that I would get. And I like to do this. I did it with Le Labo. I did it with a lot of brands that I initially sniffed the whole line. I pick 1 or 2 that I really think that are worth it, and then come back to them a couple of years later and find a couple more. I did it with Monadzi Audio, and this one has been in full testing mode for a long time. Why am I mentioning price? Is because it was a huge factor for me to purchase this. This one is cost retail $520 American for this fragrance. This is her oud-based fragrance. And pricing is a huge factor for me. $520, you gotta be outstanding juice. You gotta be at least top 5 in some of my top 20 lists. I gotta be wearing you gotta be in my rotation. There's no way I'm gonna spend that much if you're not good enough. I don't even care if it's good for a review or not. It has to be worth it for me, obviously, as a person, for paying that much. Anyway, I got in a split, and that made me a little better on this fragrance. I'm not totally sold on oud, to be honest with you guys. I know it's a complex scent, so I got to take some more time with it. But to be honest with you guys, it took me, I don't know how many samples I went through, probably 3 or 4, until I went, okay, I'm ready for a split on this. I got 50% of the juice in here. I believe it's a 100 milliliter bottle, and I got 50 mils of it. I'm going to show you guys the full presentation. It's small enough, and it's actually really nice. As you can see here, this is the box, and it opens up to this presentation. I just had to show it. There's a lot of these bottles here in this in this haul that have great presentation, or as far as the bottle and the box goes. But I'm not I'm not going to start showing boxes and stuff. But this one was worth it. It comes in the original Le Nombre d'Or bottle, so it's nothing any different. And I have 50% of the juice, as you can see. And that was worth it for me to pull the trigger and play with it a little bit, so sniff it out and see what I get from it. Now again, I'm going to give you guys more of an in-depth, small review on this fragrance. I'm not going to give you like just the initial sniff, because I've sniffed a lot of this fragrance. And I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion, why I bought it and stuff like that. So let's first sniff it out, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the intro. Now, this introduction, I like the introduction more on oud than the dry down, which is probably opposite of a lot of people for this fragrance. I really like the introduction for this fragrance for some reason. I get heavy citrus, some green, and of course that unmistakable, of course, oud note in this woody smell. Nicely done. I really like this introduction for some reason. After this dry down, I can detect some osmanthus. Now that's a floral, if you didn't know. And a lot of people are going to be deterred on this fragrance just because it does have that floral note, and they might think, oh, this is like a feminine oud-based fragrance. I wouldn't go that far, to be honest with you guys. There's, you know, in the dry down, there's some amber and some patch in here to man it up a little bit with the oud. But there's a lot of people that are going to say, I don't know about this fragrance, and that's why I had to test it a lot. And I love the initial blast on this one. I can smell it still, and I love the initial blast, and I'm trying to love this scent. I'm more on the like than love, to be honest with you guys. And it's hard to love at first sniff. Honestly, and that's why it took me that long. And I want to be honest with you guys that, you know, first sniff, this might take you aback, or you're just gonna be like, there's nothing special about this. It's a complex scent. It's good. I love the introduction. I like the dry down. I'm not completely sold on this one. If it was half the price of what it's going for now, I'd jump on it because I like it. But for $5.20 for a full bottle, you gotta love it. I'm happy with it. I really like it, and I can't wait to really fully wear this fragrance and start a review on it and let you guys know what I think about it. I'm hearing rumblings that the oud in this fragrance was something that the company of Mona D'Odio has a limited portion of it. And I'm hearing that they might pull oud off the shelves. Now, I'm not trying to create any hysteria about this fragrance or saying that it's limited. There's nowhere online on this oud-based fragrance saying that it's a limited edition fragrance, that it is going to get pulled. And some companies do pull this, you know, this little thing saying, you know, we're getting, you know, we got limited batches of this oud, and once it's gone, right? And get people to jump on the product. So I wouldn't really panic, as a lot of people like to do, but to be completely honest, I'm happy I got it when I got it. I got 50% of the juice. I got 50 mils. That's more than enough, and I'm happy that I got it. And that's basically the point of this this whole review on this. So just letting you guys know the information. My next two are from the line of Xerjoff. Now, if you follow me, you know that I introduced the Xerjoff line to my collection and to my YouTube channel early in 2012 with mostly citrus-based fragrance, 1861 and Kobe. I got a lot more to delve into with the brand. I wanted to see what they had available for winter and fall because I really like their citrus. I felt like citrus was, you know, their bread and butter. It's high quality citrus. So I was like, let's see what these guys can do for darker fragrances. I got samples of their whole XJ 1717 line. This is their line that they first started out with. These are fragrances that are, I'm telling you, pricey. Like, this is astronaut pricing. This is 700 plus a bottle only. These are 100 milliliter bottles, so you're getting a lot of juice. You can't get 50 ml bottles of this stuff, and this is the cheapest that you can get it. You can get it these in really extravagant bottles that'll cost you like thousands of dollars, but this is the cheapest that you can get this fragrance at 700 plus per bottle. And I sampled the whole line. I think they have a rose one, they got an iris one, they got their which is their staple, and then richwood. I believe they got 4. I might be wrong, there might be a few more, but those were the ones that really caught my eye. And I felt like the is way more on my league because it's a leather-based fragrance, and the richwood is very nice. Those are the two that I purchased. So, you know, that's $1,400. And I'm happy that Ray did a split with me. I got 50% of the juice on both of them, so I saved quite a bit. So I could get both. I was thinking of just getting richwood, actually, this haul, and then get later on. And I was gonna get the full bottles, but 50 milliliters is enough for me. Anyway, I've had samples of these, like I said earlier, so this is not my first impression, so I'm gonna let you guys know a little more about these fragrances because of the price. This one, we'll tackle richwood first. This one's getting a lot of love with the YouTube community. You can see it on Facebook, you can see it on YouTube. There's a few videos about richwood. a lot of reviewers are getting into this one. And funny enough, in the blog world, this guy, which is the signature of the Azerjoff line, is getting a lot more press than Richwood. Both excellent juices, not to knock anything out of them. These are both high-end fragrances, really, really well done. And you know, but just to let you know, to me personally, is more my speed than Richwood. Just as singling that out there. A leather-based fragrance will always outweigh a sandalwood-based fragrance for me. So Richwood, like, if you don't know, it's a sandalwood-based fragrance. I believe they claim that they're using Mysore sandalwood. I really didn't do any research on that, but it's a really rich sandalwood in Richwood. Again, and nothing makes me smile more than smelling the best in class with a fragrance. And what I mean by that is, this is a sandalwood based fragrance, and I really think this is one of the best on the market today that I've smelled. And I think overall, I could be wrong, I haven't smelled every sandalwood based fragrance on the market today, but this is by far one of the best. Top 3, dead or alive. And Richwood is great, and nothing makes me smile more than smelling something like this. This is absolutely exquisite juice. And this is where it depends where you are in this hobby. For me, as a collector, as someone that smelled over thousands of juices, I'm looking for a lot in a fragrance. Mostly quality stands out more than uniqueness, in a way. If you're unique, that's awesome, because it's hard to find unique fragrances now that you've smelt a lot. But quality will always overcome. And for me, this juice, I wouldn't say is worth $700 a bottle. It all depends on you and your wallet. But I really think that this is absolutely one of the best in the game. Now, what does it smell like? Well, first and foremost, it's named aptly, guys. It smells like rich wood. Now, it doesn't, you know, some woody fragrances kind of have that bite to them that you can smell like bark, and you can really woody. This is really soft and cozy, and kind of really blows a lot of woody fragrances out of the water just because it's so well blended. It's such a smooth sandalwood in a fragrance that, you know, you gotta smell it. Now, it has a creaminess to it. Now, I want to convey to you guys what kind of creaminess that I'm talking about. I'm talking Guerlain creaminess. You know, Guerlain has this certain creaminess to some of their fragrance, namely Cuir Beluga has that creaminess, Tonka Imperial sort of, Iris Ganache. If you've smelt these, you know what I'm talking about, that really rich creaminess. This has it. Not as sweet as the Guerlain creaminess, but really nicely done. It's got enough patch in it also. It's got patchouli, it's got rose. Not many notes, not very complex, I would say. It's got a nice overturned soil feel, not to be too dirty. The sandalwood is, don't get me wrong, it's sandalwood, then there's rose, and then there's patch. But sandalwood's your main guy here. The patch is really, really nice, and it doesn't, you know, really give you that grimy feeling. It's really, really nice in here. And that combo just works so well together. The rose, the sandalwood, and then the patch. Really, really nicely done. Just a well-balanced machine here, and that's what you're supposed to come to expect from a fragrance of this price and from this brand. Xerjoff quality, luxury. Luxury is a good word to give Richwood. It's really luxurious. It's not a game changer as far as notes go. You've smelt this all before, not in this type of quality, not in this mesh, but it's not something that's, again, not overly unique. It doesn't blow your mind and say, oh, I've never smelt this before, but I've never smelt this in this type of quality before. So it's not that complex. But this is huge with this type of quality. It hasn't been done in this way. Fans of sandalwood, this is a must sniff. Must sniff. Get a sample, Lucky Scent, Mint New York, whatever. Just sniff it and just enjoy it. I'm not expecting everybody to be paying these type of rates for a fragrance like this, but if you are a fragrance lover and you sandalwood is one of your top notes that you love, you got to. Sandalwood's not one of my top, probably top 20, but not top 10 or anything like that. But I absolutely love smelling this. Just the quality. Also patchouli lovers too. It's not like an overall patch based fragrance. I wouldn't say that at all, but definitely I think you would really appreciate how the notes here were blended together. Very, very, very nicely done. Basically, this is a gem in my collection, and I'm probably going to be keeping this as long as I live. This 50 ml is staying with me. Last but not least, the king of this fragrance haul, the king. Now, I know a lot of my fellow reviewers that have smelt this fragrance, that have, especially you guys in New York, probably won't agree with me, but this is more up my league. I like the darker stuff, you know, I like my incense, I like my leathers, my tobaccos. I like rough and tumble stuff, manly man stuff. You know, guys like Frunkinator, you know, he likes his iris. He likes, you know, they like their rose-based fragrances. And I see why they like Richwood, because it's so tame. You know, it has that creaminess to it that they would go towards it, gravitate towards it. Is more rough and tumble, smoky. It's got that feeling that, you know, it's not a game changer. There's a lot of leather-based fragrances out there right now, especially in the niche side of things, like Tuscan leather and created by Monaziorio, and I could go on and on. There's like a gazillion leather-based fragrances, and this is not really a game changer. It's there, it's quality. I wouldn't say like the price difference from this to another leather-based fragrance. This probably doesn't make this one buy-worthy for a lot of people. Leather is probably one of my favorite notes. I would say probably top 5. And when I smelt this, again, not a game changer, kind of like Richwood, you know. Nothing new to the game, but wow. And this stuff's good. It's not screaming in your face like Tuscan leather screams, and it screams leather, and it's smoky, and it's there. People will smell it. This one is more, again, refined luxury leather. Kind of reminds me of like a leather seat in a luxury car. You know, if you've ever been into a luxury car, Lamborghini, Ferrari, you know what I'm talking about. A true leather scent for leather lovers out there. Not too potent, kind of like Tuscan leather. Wouldn't be like that. It's smooth, and it's showing the smoky side of leather too. It kind of has that suede leather and that smoky leather all wrapped into one. Not too crazy, but not too toned down either. You know, I love my shouting leathers like Monaziorio's Cuir and Tuscan leather. Those are shouters. And then there's smoother ones like suede-like leathers that you smell. And this is blended perfectly with the other notes in this fragrance, by the way, but also blends both sides of the coin. It's got that smokiness and it's got that suede-like leather too. It's got both, I think. And wow. There's a little bit of florals in here. This is as authentic as it gets, guys. When people smell this, I always tell people smell this bottle when they are in my home. Smell that. Tell me what it smells like. New car smell in a nice leather, high class seat in a like a racing car. So nice. Oh, subtle leather. Really nicely done. This is what excellent leather-based fragrance smells like. Again, it depends on your wallet. It depends how much you value this type of fragrance. Again, you can find a leather-based fragrance for a fraction of this, 1/10 of the price of this fragrance, and still get a really good leather-based fragrance. But this is quality stuff, and I really like excellent juice in it, and one of my favorites right now in my whole collection by Xelchoff. So guys, this is my haul, running long. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you got a couple new ideas for purchases or samples, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys.